Yeah. Okay. So we're live. I believe we're live.
Okay, we are live.
Great.
Um, hello, hello, everybody out there.
Yeah. Good evening. This is Campbell,
This is TJ.
and we're back again for another deep dive into why women are superior, more efficient, more receptive at sex than men are.
You see, I don't think that that's how I don't. I'm. If you're gonna frame it like that, then I'm not rolling because I think that they're just masters at what they do, and they probably enjoy sex better than
Okay.
men. But what they can't do what men do. Like what men do, they they're not they're not superior to us, and what women do, we're not superior to them.
Yeah,
Well, I guess you see my point. I'm just trying to say, like,
I get you. Yeah, I get you.
in,
I
in,
get
in-
you.
anyway, I bristle at the idea that we're just gonna blanket say women are superior to men in sex because I've met some starfish in my day.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff out there, and I agree with you. There are some really bad lovers, both women and men. So the case applies to those who know what they're doing. Like we said the last time, if you meet a woman that unconsciously has tapped into this Jezebel spirit, they might, they don't know when they're switching it on, they don't know when they're switching it off. But if we're talking about, what was that celebrity, that girl that wrote a book about all the basketball players she's been with?
Oh, Brittany Renner.
Yeah, if you have someone like Brittany Renner who actively knows this stuff and has switched it on, she knows when to switch it on and off. Yeah, man, that's a red, yellow, green flag right there, man. That's
So
someone that.
I think for anyone listening, if you want the context of things like Jezebel, the things that we're discussing here, don't just jump to your own conclusion that you think you know exactly what context we're talking about. You're going to have to go to the first live stream, check out what we said, because you know we researched some interesting concepts and
Yeah,
definitions
yeah.
that may be different to your first analysis of a word like Jezebel that you
Yeah.
come across as we discussed. So, for context, check out the first live stream. Check out the first video. It's on our YouTube channel right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's continue. So, what are we talking about today, Campbell?
So we're rounding up this series. This is the second part of Do Women Have a Greater Sexual Appetite Than Men? We're rounding it up by informing our lads with the instruments or the tools of pleasure, how they can enhance their performance in
How a man can enhance his performance, or how a woman, or both?
I am directing this message to men. If you have the feminine side of things, I've never been a woman ever, so I wouldn't know. I would have some tips, but other than that, it's a very sticky one, I guess. I know how to change myself. I don't know how to change other people.
Yeah, but I mean, I could give you a quick bullet point rundown of what women could do to make to please their man better.
Okay,
Um,
okay. So how is that gonna make a woman how is that going to make a man last longer?
um, it's more likely to make him last less time
Mm,
because he the arousal level will increase, right?
yes.
Um, But I mean, I'm just referencing the idea that you can't speak for women. I mean, as a reciprocant of female sexual uh, attention when you're
Hmm.
having sex. I mean, you must have been in a situation where you're like, I wish she would do this, or wouldn't it be better if she just did that, or
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, it has happened. Yeah.
you know. But fair enough. We're maybe that's for a different time. We're concentrating on what men can do
Hmm.
to, I mean, to perform better.
To catch up, I would say, because it's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Okay,
Yeah. So there are some tools out there. I have grouped them into three main groups. There might be more. You might know more. Please feel free to share. If you're listening to this, feel free to type. Just yeah, contribute. So I have grouped them into. I would call them spiritual. Yeah. Old school and new school.
okay,
All right. So let's start with the spiritual, but I am acquainted with only two of these, not really with the spiritual. So that is something I would have to face once I'm older, I guess, in a spiritual place. But the spiritual would be with breath. So uh,
breathing.
yes, tantric sex.
Okay,
Yeah. So that is one. The second one is oral sex.
okay.
Yeah, and that would be what could we put that in old school or new school? I don't know because I've been hearing some really bad things out there.
Um, I do. I mean, all sex has probably been around forever.
I agree. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Maybe normalized through, I don't know. I may well, everyone grows up knowing and understanding the basic actions of oral sex.
Yeah.
I think maybe there was a time when maybe it wasn't seen as sort of a thing, but it happened,
Hmm.
or maybe informally. But anyway, I don't know. The old school and new school, I don't know if it matters.
We might have
Oral
to
sex is
find new names for them. Then
it's its own category.
it's its own, yeah, oral sex, and then we have I have the African name for it, and it's kunyaza.
Okay, kunyaza.
Yes, kunyaza.
Can
And
you
I'll start with what I'm most acquainted with. And I'll start by setting the floor saying that most guys, in my view, don't really love and appreciate women. It's more a narcissistic point of view, as in they love how women make them feel.
you're talking about
So
during sex?
exactly. So they kind of masturbate with women's body instead of treating it like a special moment. They're trying to do them.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right, right.
So I've heard people say all sorts of things about oral sex. They're like, it stinks down there, no blood, I'm not putting my mouth, pande. Yeah, all sorts of things I've heard. And
Right.
I think mature men don't talk like that. Or at least men who love women and who appreciate women for even their body parts, yeah, if they want to be very superficial, don't treat it like that. So, what's your thought on that?
When I was in sort of high school age,
Yeah.
it was considered like a shut downable event. Like it would be a disaster if you were to dare consider. And then sort of over the years,
Mm-hmm.
sort of maybe by the time you get to like 21, one by one, guys have all, um,
Been through
dabbled
it.
in, yeah, they've all dabbled and it's, I would say it's quite funny because I think that guys were probably dabbling in it
I think so.
before admitting to it because such a hostile idea around it. So
Mm-hmm.
I definitely put that down to maturity and cultural influence,
Mm.
the idea of the ideas of teenagers and young boys versus the ideas of men.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I would generally agree with that.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And so there is a solution for each, category. If you are more immature and you think putting your lips on the flower is too much for you, there is kunyaza, which basically um, suggests that you use your penis instead of using your tongue.
Okay.
Yeah,
To perform, okay, so what you would do with your tongue to
exactly.
perform, okay, you would do that with, okay, so um the penis is not as
As
um
precise.
dexterous.
Yes. Can you break down what dexterous means? I think it's the first time
Well,
I'm
I
hearing
mean,
it.
um let me just make sure that I'm using it in its correct
Context.
uh context. So the definition is showing or having skill, especially with the hands, a dexterous keyboard player, for example.
Mm,
So, um, you know, the tongue can
versatile.
sort of versatile. The tongue can move in several ways.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
can be made soft. It can be made sort of harder, like a point. It's
Mm-hmm.
smaller. It's wet.
Mm-hmm.
It you can flatten it. You can point it. So um, I think also it can be used more subtly,
Mm.
right? There's more subtlety to it. So I think there's just more options for pleasure than sort of
Mm. Mm.
yeah. I mean, I can see how you could use the penis.
Yeah.
But I think it's you've got more options and more of a way to manipulate if
Mm.
you use the tongue.
Yes. Yes. And I actually agree with you on this. On this, 100%. I agree with you. But I also do understand that people have preferences, and there are some people that just, for a reason or the other, look, it's not their thing. It's really, and that's where I don't know where to put this, whether old school
Yeah, but
or new
they're
school.
not. Those people are not going to. Sex for that person is going to be capped.
The reason why I say this is that kunyaza, yeah, is mainly for people like my parents and my grandparents. They knew about that stuff. This was the forbidden. I don't know, the
Okay,
pearls they wouldn't
let,
throw to the
let,
pigs.
okay.
Yeah.
I think we're getting a little bit. Kunyaza is defined by instead of using the tongue, use the
Yes.
penis.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. So in layman's term, in a crude way, we're just talking about rubbing the penis around the woman's genitals.
Yes.
All right. You're making it sound like some kind of sweet science or art. And I'm struggling to see how it could be considered sort of a. I mean, I'm just thinking like position wise,
Okay,
all of this. It's not. You would need.
a six pack of a
I
six
mean,
pack.
are you okay? Are you would be doing this with assistance of the hands,
Exactly. Yes.
right? So you would need you would need to support yourself. Maybe you would need
Yes.
to.
But you'd be on your knees. So she would be on a missionary position on her back. Her
Right.
thighs would be on your shoulders. You would be on your knees, and you're basically supporting yourself with your knees, and with your hand, then you're doing the rest of the job. But I think each one has its own positive and its own negative, as in the Kunyaza style has a bit of depth to it. So you can also play going in and out and
Right.
around. So it's always going to be longer than your tongue. Okay. But
Yes.
now, on the contrary, the tongue has its self lubricating, it's more precise, it's more what was the word? Dexteral?
Dexterous.
It's more dexterous. Yeah, I need to jot that down, mate.
I don't know if that's strictly the right use of right place to use it, but I think it works.
Well, at Agbarapa, we just, that's it. It's coined now. It's too late. So, yeah, I think it just depends how much starving has the man done before that night. Because me personally, if it's been a while, I'm diving, mate.
Yeah,
I'm
but
hungry. Yeah, yeah.
the guy that said, okay, there seems like there'll be some kind of artistry to this kunyasa.
Yeah,
Okay, the guy that has decided that he's not, you know,
gonna go down there
going
with his
down on
mouth.
his woman,
Yeah.
he also does not take any time to become, a samurai sword level player in the kunyasa department. That guy is just doing his business and falling asleep.
I,
I
I would
think
like to agree with you, but I've heard some stories from these old heads, man, that they're talking about there is water down there. They know how to get water out of it, and we're talking
right,
about squirting.
right.
Yeah.
So basically we would need lessons to figure out this Rubik's cube.
Look, it's so I guess we've kind of figured out that what stimulates the woman is multiple inputs, just like my audio spectralizer here. Is just the more you can add to it, the better. So it's, are you kissing her the right way? Are you licking the back of her ears? Are you kissing her lips? Are you touching her nipples? Are you moving her breasts? Are you just all over her? All of this creates such a level of excitement in the woman that that all the blood available to her at the moment goes to these reproductive organs. Yeah. And the more blood there is down there, the more there is a chance to have an orgasm
Okay.
if patient enough and if steady enough. So I guess it's the case where, uncle is on top, he's like, auntie, and he's rubbing it, and his hands, one hand at least is free, and he's got her breasts, or I don't know, some women are there into choking, he's choking her, or massaging her
Right.
head, or
So this thing is an art. It's a thing. It's a
it's, mate, the word is a Rwandan word, it's from Rwanda, and I need to look better into it, but I think it's a Hutu, either a Hutu or Tutsi word, but the
so
R comes from Rwanda.
you're bringing up this stuff. I mean, it's only I mean, if I'm asking this question, then anyone listening is gonna ask this question.
Okay.
So we're curious to know how it's done.
It's so basically
I mean, have you seen this these
I have
demonstrations or
I've seen it. I've done it myself. Charlie, we're not just that's why I just said I'm not gonna go into the tantric one because that's the only one I haven't done. There's
okay,
a lot of
okay.
concentration that goes into it, and yeah, is a
So the
bit.
guy is on his knees.
He's on
The
his
the
knees
girl the girl is
on her
so
back.
would the girl's hips be would the girl's hips be
Just
on the guy's thighs?
voila, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. And then you're
comfortable. She's
using
watching the scene.
she's watching the scene and then
Yeah,
you're using, you
your
know,
taco
your you know,
wood.
yes, but you're like a cricket spin bowler.
That's the one.
You're maneuvering your
Scattering
sword.
everything there.
Okay. We
Yeah,
get the general picture. We get the general picture.
that's
So
it.
we have oral.
Yeah,
If you don't want to enjoy oral, you have this option.
yeah.
Lord knows it sounds like a whole can
Minutiae.
of worms in
Yeah,
itself.
yeah.
Okay, and then we have tantric.
Exactly. Then we have
All right.
tantric. Yeah,
Okay.
and yeah, like you and I have just said right now. The second one it requires a lot of patience. It's a lot of work. So I would say, yeah, it's one of those ones you do if you are in the mood and you have time and all of that stuff. But coming back to that Pombagira, yeah, that Pombagira spirit, I have tested and time over gained a lot of respect and recognition by using my tongue, mate. That is, I have had chapeau, I have had missed calls, I have had I've had gifts, and I've even had stuff like questions like, "Why are you doing this to me?" So, if you really want to impress, yeah, I think the tongue you can't go wrong.
You're gonna have to give seminars with this kind of braggadocio that you're giving us. This is
Like I told you, from a very early age, is something that I was a bit more than all the other kids. Like other kids will talk about it superficially. When I start talking, it's like, God damn, like chill, Campbell. Like what? Jesus Christ, it's too much. You're a freak, and I don't know. Maybe I might have met this Pombajira. I don't know, or maybe I really don't know. But one thing is for sure is that I'm very curious, and that's why I started by saying I don't think a lot of guys are into women like that. They're more into themselves. That they don't take the time out, the patience. They don't take the consistency to be like, look, I want to beat my chest like King Kong in here. I want to see you like
I think every guy has this idea that they could or they would or they would like to be, you know, the ultimate performer
yeah,
that the woman just can't resist. Guy, I think probably most guys are not that, but at the same time, every guy's probably seen porn. They've seen these, professionals, these
yeah,
professional gunslingers,
yeah,
and um, I don't really see anything other than sort of, let's say, male fitness and size,
yeah, yeah,
and obviously control and stamina.
yeah.
goes into that. But
Yeah.
I don't see like any groundbreaking wow type tactics that can't sort of just be there's no like secrets, well, not secret, but like, oh, I don't do that at home, or I don't do this at home. I mean, obviously there's stuff that they do for the camera, specifically the way they
Yeah.
position themselves so the camera can get views. But you see what I'm saying? They're not
Exactly. Yeah.
doing like a some spiritual deep uh female pleasure uh, bag of tricks. It seems that that so where did you pick this up? Where did you
So
how does one pick this up?
it's a journey. It's mastery. I would say you need to be hungry. You need to want to do better, be better at sex. I have always gone for older women. Yeah, that is MILFs are my go-to. Yeah, that's my preference. And
Why?
is I can't explain it, but it's just they just look juicy, like a
Oh my
proper,
god. This guy, this guy, this guy.
like a proper 35-year-old woman.
I was not
She doesn't
expecting.
have time for who's paying on the first day. You know
You've
what it
you've
is, man.
you've just offended anyone older than 35.
I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry, but I just like serious people. Like I love, yeah, the MILF is just my thing. I can't help it.
Are you feeling like they teach you?
For a good part of my life, yes, I was being taught. I was being taught, Papi, don't do that. Papi, do this, up and down, da 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 da. But then you start trying to walk by yourself, and you want to impress, right? You want to take it out, and it now started becoming, boy, you look this, but not on
The
the
young
cheap.
man has
That's it.
graduated.
Jaguar.
Okay.
Jaguaro. That's what I wanted to represent. So yeah, and how do you beat a 12-year gap of experience, or in some cases even a 20-year gap experience? How do you beat
Yeah,
that?
but there's guys that have been having sex for that long. They just haven't done. They just do the same stuff they've always done. They don't progress.
But that's why we're here. That's why we're talking about this here at Agbarapa. This is real power, Agbara. So if you're not into that, you're in the wrong place. And
Okay.
yeah, I was you meet some women that are just out of the blue. They're just bringing you uh like Prometheus fire for the first time. You're seeing all of this for the first time. And like you said, a lot of guys are into porn. I was heavily into porn, and we're gonna talk about that in a separate episode. And what that meant is just like you were saying, is stamina. No useful information, nothing new, nothing out of the blue. It's a lot of stamina, the right camera angle,
I mean,
and
it's to be respected in its own right. It's not like it's easy what they do,
well,
or
that's true. I've never performed at that level, so I wouldn't know what it takes. But it just when you gain experience, you realize that they're missing the point. It's not. Yeah, maybe women might enjoy once or twice a little bit of
I've got
roughness.
an analogy. I've got an analogy.
Please give us up. Give it up. Give us the analogy.
Martial arts movies.
Yeah.
The guys that fight in martial arts movies often know real martial arts, but
Okay.
for the camera, it's choreographed, and what they do is
Mm,
physically dynamic, high kicks, but it's still a
mm,
performance for the camera. If
yeah.
they got in a real fight, they're not
Good
they're likely
maths.
not going to use all of the stuff they would use on camera. They would use very basic, you know,
Yeah, block and
um,
hit.
distancing, you know. So it's sex for the camera is
Yeah,
that's what it is. It's for the
very
camera.
different. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
its own art that must be mastered.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
it wouldn't. It's not necessarily. And look, a guy that knows martial arts
Mm-hmm.
that performs for the camera would beat up a guy that has no training.
100%. I agree with
But
you.
a guy that has that
Street cred.
just study does just studies martial arts,
Yeah.
he's not going to use screen martial arts technique in
Mm,
in real battle.
yeah.
And the screen guy, if the screen guy only knew screen martial arts, he wouldn't stand a chance against a real guy.
That's interesting. That's quite interesting. Yeah, so that's basically that's where the whole interest started from, and all I wanted to do was impress, get the good part on my back, get my food ready, get my clothes ironed, get my crib hoovered, and I knew I had to do a good job. You had to lay down the pipe properly. So yeah,
Okay.
that was how I got into the interest. And sometimes you go down a rabbit hole, sometimes you go down a sinkhole, leads you nowhere, and then you get nuggets here and there. Yeah. So for instance, I didn't really want to talk about enhancers, as in creams that help durability, because no one is really sponsoring us at the moment. So we can't really be giving out that information. But there is that kind of stuff out there, as in creams, natural ones. In especially, I got to know them in DR.
I don't have any problem with stamina. I've never. I mean, this is not my problem.
Well,
So I've
I've
never
been
needed to use such things.
I have been very young, and I have had such issues. So
I mean,
yeah,
young boys probably need that stuff.
yeah, 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 yeah. So at a certain point, I had to, yeah. So you rub that once or twice, and the women that know, they know, yeah, there's something weird. You've applied something, because it 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 also alters their pH.
Right.
Yeah, because the vagina is a self-balancing, cleansing organism. So if you put that off
Um,
balance, they realize it.
condoms not enough to dampen.
You see, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not a condom guy.
No one on earth is a condom guy. It's just a necessary evil. Just a necessary evil if you're gonna go and dip your bucket into a previously undipped well.
uh, more YOLO, man. You only live once.
Oh no 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 no
I'm not
no
encouraging that though, but
no!
I am a
Listen,
YOLO guy, mate.
the guy with the guy that you hear talking now. Listen, don't listen to this guy. You must protect yourself,
I
please.
agree. Yeah, yeah.
Don't
Guys,
play with your
protect
life.
yourself. Yeah, 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 yeah. Don't be me. Don't be Campbell.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Me is YOLO. Charlie is you only live once. Is But to be fair, there have been cases where I started using it, and the partner took it off. She took it off for me. You
Yeah,
know, you
that's
know,
because nobody likes
she
condoms.
she she took it off with disgust, like ugh. And I was
Yeah,
like, well,
nobody likes. This is the thing that nobody discusses: is that
mm, that is true,
condoms
you know.
suck. They suck. They don't. They can kill the mood.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, right. Like if you're having sex, right? If you're having sex, the soldier
Hmm.
is not always at the same level of attention throughout, right? It's like you could go from like maybe
I love that
70,
analogy.
70%
Yeah,
to 80% to 100%, back to 70, back to
yeah,
80, back to 100. You're wavering. And um, condoms do not like do well with fluctuation.
that is so true.
That's how they start falling off or
That's so
breaking,
true.
because
Yeah,
they went on at 70% and
yeah,
then you then get to 100%. That's when it breaks and all of
yeah.
this. So, or you feel restricted. Um, so it is. I don't know. They need to create something new. I know Bill Gates has 100, or at least I heard he had 100 or $1 million challenge. Anyone that can reinvent the condom,
Mm,
it's like a bounty. Anyone that can make, because condom technology is the same as it's been for the last 100 years.
yeah, yeah,
It's just plastic between us,
yeah.
or rubber between us. So I don't know how we fix that problem. That I dread the idea of meeting someone new. I would almost rather just wait until like we get to know each other,
Yeah,
and then like we decide that we're gonna make that step.
yeah.
Then use a condom. I mean, I would use one, but man, it's hard work, and I think it's worse the older you get.
Mm, that must be true. That must be true because first of all, I think I have an answer for Bill Gates' challenge, and it will be abstinence.
It's not an answer.
That mate, how there's no other way, man. That's literally it.
Like,
Abstinence does it. You kill two birds with one stone.
yeah, abstinence is. I mean, it's
It's not
that's
it's not in question. Um, so yeah. Other than abstinence, you just talked about how your drive, or I would say your paranoia increases with age. Is that a
right.
thing though?
I don't know what you mean by paranoia.
As in, you're more skeptical about the partners you meet, so you would opt for a
Mm,
condom even then.
no, well, your most risky, um, your least risk averse
Yeah.
between 18 and 24 something for men.
Okay.
So, like, all, men go to jail mostly in that age range.
Yeah.
That's when they do their most riskiest stuff in
Yeah.
life. So, depending on your education, your situation. But
Yeah.
I actually, maybe that's when you start taking the risk. But I thought you were referring to the idea that you last longer as the older you get,
Yeah.
and this is the idea that if a man is circumcised, for example, then his the mushroom on the end of his penis that
Yeah.
is exposed. The most
Yeah.
sensitive part is exposed, so it's continuously having friction from underwear and movement,
Yeah.
and over time it dulls the sensitivity. There's an argument to be said there.
Yeah.
And then just sexual partners, the more sexual partners you have,
Mm-hmm.
the more experience you get, the more control you get. And then there is the elephant in the room, which I think is probably a huge, widespread, colossal problem that most people don't even begin to discuss,
Okay.
which is that um, everybody watches porn from the age of, I don't know,
Oh,
12. If the moment you have a smartphone handed to you,
exactly.
you can probably find porn, right? So
Yep.
then by the time in short order, every boy is masturbating,
Yeah.
and then they are now, um, not only are they starting the process of numbing the sensation of time,
Yeah.
on their penis, but they're also seeking ever greater stimulation. And then when they come to actually have sex with a woman,
Mm,
they are not able to be so aroused, right? So
mm,
then, they're not maintaining erections the way they would do if it was sort of a normal sexual encounter. That porn, like as men are watching porn, right? They're flicking through different scenes and
yeah,
different women and whatnot. When you're having sex, it's not that. It's not. It's not that. You're just with your lady,
one
and
person.
that's it.
Yeah,
One person, that's it. And you're not sort of doing double backflips on
yeah,
each other. It's, all of a sudden it's a kind of an average thing for you.
that's true.
So I think that is all of that contributes to, you know the older you get, the less you're able to perform. At
Hmm.
this point, the internet is what, 30 years old or 20 years old for most people. I was
More or
maybe
less. Yeah,
15. I was maybe 13 or 14 when internet was like installed in my house.
yeah.
So porn has basically been available widespread since then.
Hmm.
So you've got whole generate begin some millennials, Generation Z, and whatever they call the
They've
people
had
after
it on their, yeah, mobile phones. Yeah,
right. So those guys are in get millennials, or what's Gen Z.
Gen Zs. Yeah,
Gen Z, they're in their 20s now, right?
yeah, yeah.
Right. So they've had 20 years of porn, 20 years of overstimulation.
Yeah, supernormal stimuli.
Yeah, that's gonna put a dampener on performance for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah. And we're gonna go in depth on this, but what you say is true because you get into the act with this expectation that one thing that I found when I started meeting people for sex was the smells. You don't see this on camera, so there's different scents, to people. It's like saliva, sweat, body secretion, all these things. I must be very, very sensitive, but I was like, yo, this makes it real. I don't know if if it's making sense. It's so different from what you see on TV because on TV it feels like they can go on and on. You know when they're having these I don't know. Have you ever been to a swingers party?
Um,
Uh,
well, I mean, I'm not trying to expose myself here. Is
okay.
it relevant? My
This
answer.
is it's
You've
up to
already
you.
damned me now.
It's up to you. I mean, it's
You've
up to
already
you.
destroyed my reputation.
It's up to you. But
Reputation is in tatters.
honestly, me, I've been to a few of them, and I was like, bloody hell, bruv, this is disgusting.
It was pungent, was it? The
It's
smells.
it's Jesus Christ. And they have to be, in these basements, windows closed because you can't, it's all X-rated. I was like, nah, man, this is where you get all that weird stuff, Black
I'm
Death.
I'm surprised. I thought you were when you started talking about smells. I thought you were going to tell us how it was stimulating for you.
No, 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 not in this case, not in this case. In other cases, it has been, but not in this case. And this was something that when you're watching an OG on online on porn, it is oof, it's like all this buffet of goodness. Oh my god, I can't wait to throw myself in there. But in reality, if you have a little bit of, I don't know, maybe I'm just too sensitive. I don't know. I don't know.
So there are So you've experienced a situation where you're in a place where a lot of sex is happening
Yeah.
sort of openly,
Yes.
and it smells terrible.
It does. Yeah.
Well,
For me, that was, yeah, yeah. You can smell every other guy. No, nah. Yeah, I kind of prefer a one-to-one. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I won't fight you on that either.
You don't want to enlighten us on your experience, I guess.
I, I mean, I've got a few stories.
It's up to you. It's up to you.
I mean, nothing kind of to do with odor, but
Okay.
I've had, I've been presented with opportunities to share sexual experiences
Hmm.
with other people,
Hmm.
and for some people, maybe that is extremely arousing.
Hmm.
Um, but I think that the best sex that I've had, sorry to sound boring, has been with somebody that it's not it's beyond just a fling or a one night stand or something like that. It's when you get the opportunity to discuss how you would like to please each other, and you work together to improve sex over time.
Hmm.
You know, each time you have sex. So um I mean, there was once upon a time you might be having sex in a car because you've got nowhere else to go,
Yeah.
like that. All that sex in the car and all that. Listen, you come out of that with cricks in your neck and your leg is sore for 3 days and you got burns on your body.
Trust.
Like, nah, I'm not, like, give me a comfortable bed,
Yeah. Yeah.
keep, you know, a little bit of music playing, a little bit of
Hmm.
ambience, and give me a partner that is open minded and we can talk about it.
That's it.
And that's where I think the 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 best sex happens. I
Hmm.
mean, I don't even chase sex anymore. Like, if you came and gave me on a silver platter, I'll take it. But it's really not worth the chase.
Gotcha.
Just to have sex for the sake of sex.
Yeah.
Whereas when I was
Needs to have
young, you
meaning.
chase, where can I go? What can I, he's like running after it all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but maybe that's just where I'm in life, or I don't
No,
know.
I totally understand you, you know. I know where you're coming from because at a certain point it just feels the same like every other experience. It's just your imagination that changes.
I mean, experimenting is good.
Hmm.
If there is a moral, or my, let's say, if I don't feel like I'm violating any moral stuff,
Hmm.
I think, the only caveat for getting involved in a sort of more multiple sex situation
Yeah.
would be, um sex is more than just the act. It's it's a mental game. It's a
Hmm.
mental
Yeah,
it's a mental back and forth,
it
and
is.
it often plays with power and dominance
Mm-hmm.
versus submission and
Yeah.
things like that. And um, for example, wives that have husbands and the husbands want to watch. I've
Ooh.
never been in a situation like that,
Hey,
but
TJ.
but but
Hey.
but what I'm saying is, I know why the guy is excited to sleep with that woman, and it goes
Hmm.
beyond just wanting to have sex for sex reasons.
Hmm.
he's excited to sleep with that woman because not only is he dominating the woman,
Yeah.
but he's dominating the man via the woman. And it's a moment of power,
It's a mental play.
a mental play, and vice versa, possibly for the guy,
Yeah.
just like, the guy watching. It's, you know, it's like a bittersweet sensation. It's like I mean, I've never been into getting dominated like all these guys that go and get abused by women and pay for it.
Dominatrix, yeah.
Domination, but there's guys that enjoy that, and maybe they're high powered in their job, and nobody ever tells them no. And it's the only time they get to,
Mm.
so um,
Bend over.
right. So these group dynamics, I can see how there could be additional attraction there and whatnot. I've never really played too much in it. I think it's not something that I'll really pursue.
Mm.
Um, but power and all that kind of stuff during sex is a big deal. It's a big deal. And what bigger deal than, you know, that even goes for sexual acts. Sorry to go on a tangent here,
No, no, no.
but I
Please
think
enlighten
I think the
us.
whole I think the whole enjoyment of something like anal, for example,
Yeah.
is wrapped in the idea that sh- she's allowing you to do that.
Mm-hmm.
More that's just as exciting, if not more exciting, than the actual sensation.
Ooh, yes and no. I hear what you're saying. I hear that, but it has been the case where the orifice from the back is tighter.
Right.
Yeah,
Look, I'm not saying that the physical pleasure isn't there. The physical pleasure is there, and it's the sensation could be fantastic and amazing.
yeah,
But you've added this element. It's like the breaking of innocence. It's complete dominance. It's what says dominance more
than yeah,
than
yeah,
penetrating anally. It's
sodomy.
just, and it's the ultimate submission.
Yeah, yeah. I brick you.
I mean, probably if we went into the etymology of the word sodomy,
Yeah,
right, it would probably have that kind of connotation
yeah.
attached to it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of a submission at that level. Yeah, 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 yeah. But what is also interesting about what you said before about I think is I can't remember the exact word they use for it, but couples who enjoy seeing their partner being taken, like having
Yeah,
sex, and there's actually a I'll call her a psychoanalyst or a psychologist, Estelle Perel, and
right.
she talks about how during a breakup or when couples go for their, when they have a break and they respectively go to other partners, when they're able to come back and they sort out their issues, knowing that their partner was desired by someone else actually rekindles their love for them.
It wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. So she does say she gave it a name, but now the name escapes me. But she said yes, it's a thing where you now realize, wow, someone is digging into her ribs, her belly, and all of that, and it's making you see, I might have had something good in my hands for once, and you want to go back to them.
Someone
So
else has validated
exactly, yeah,
the
it's just
person.
yeah that fantasy. So I guess we can reconnect this to other conversations we've had about there is a theory out there that women only want guys that look attractive to other women,
Yes.
And I think
I
something
mean,
like that happens to men as well.
I don't know if it happens to men, but I'm I know it happens to women,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
whether
yeah.
they admit it or not,
It's
or whether they not have knowledge of it or not.
mm,
It's just different. If I'm with someone,
yeah.
the way other women act around me,
You
it's
attract more.
completely.
Yeah.
Every guy knows this.
Yes. Yes. It's a
It's just
spiritual. Yeah, 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 yeah. I know that. I know that feeling.
like the times when women have acted their most outrageous
Yeah.
is like when so I was in a club once
Mm-hmm.
and I was with my girlfriend at the time,
Yeah.
and there was basically a girl that waited nearby
Mm-hmm.
until my girl went to the toilet
Mm.
and then came to my ear. By the way, the girl, as she spoke, she it turns out she was a Brazilian, which for us here in London would be regarded as a very exotic woman. She was very
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
And she then said, why are you dating this girl? If you want a real woman,
Just
you need
like that.
to, yeah. So I, it's not like women just come and um, present themselves to me in my life.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, maybe I was quite sought after women when I was younger.
Oh, a
But
kid. Oh, you mean
yeah,
younger? Okay.
like teen to early mid 20s.
Yeah.
Uh, I know that I was attractive to women. It's not the same now. In a different stage of life, but uh,
Come
what
on.
I'm saying, well, it's the truth. It's the truth.
Mm.
Also, I used to get approached by men quite a lot, gay
Mm.
men. But anyway, what's my point? My point is,
Women desire
even
men
even
that are
even even at
taken.
my peak of desire,
Yeah.
even when women were when I was more seemingly successful with women in the eyes of women, attractive
Yeah.
wise, um, women then just don't just come up to you and offer themselves to you. They might
Mm.
give you the eye and give you the okay with non-verbal cues to come and talk to them, but they're not coming up to you. They're not waiting for your girlfriend to leave so that they can come and whisper in your ear that you need to leave, ditch that one, and get with me.
Yeah.
And I just know that if I was not with her, that girl that I was with was also very beautiful. So it's
Mm.
like a very beautiful woman has validated me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So then another beautiful woman says, okay, for her to validate him, he
Mm-hmm.
must have a lot going on.
He must.
And
Yeah.
then therefore she and then therefore that added to her thing. I don't think she thought it through in that
Mm.
way. I think it's a subconscious thing,
Yeah.
just like, oh, I like this guy, that guy over there, he's so
Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Interesting. That's a
I think
very
every guy
interesting
knows
one.
that. Every guy
Yeah.
knows it.
Yeah. I used to never understand it. When I would be single, is I'm repelling all these women. It's like no luck. The minute I get into a relationship, I said, Campbell, you haven't called me. Campbell, when are you coming to fix my shower? When are you coming to fix my
No,
sink?
a lot of women have, just like guys have, a lot of women like the idea that a guy, they know that anytime they want, they've got the power to entice that guy. He's, you know, I know he fancies me, right?
Mm,
That idea. But then one day, the guy that fancies you has, you've kept him in the friend zone for so long. He's moved on.
mm,
He's gone to another woman. He's established a relationship.
yeah,
And so now you're feeling the loss like, oh, I don't have him anymore to think. So let me go and mess with him. Let me see if he's still on it.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can,
Get that
tear him away
attention.
from his woman and get that attention back.
Yeah.
You know? And that's when you get the text or the call or the whatever. And it's like,
The
yeah.
booty call.
I don't even know if it's a booty call. I think it's just like, have do I still have the power over you?
Mm.
You know, this relationship stuff is it's ego, it's power,
It's a lot.
it's
Yeah.
so much going on.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
I think we're a lot of us are failing in this stuff. We don't even recognize a lot of that. As well, that's what we're here for anyway.
It's just these dynamics. Yeah. Wow. I mean, yeah, I'm quite a vengeful guy. So if
Vengeful.
I am very, very, very vengeful. Yeah.
What? So, like, if a girl didn't want to get with you, then she tried to get with you.
Yeah,
You would,
I would do my flirtatious. I'll be very flirtatious, but it will take us nowhere. And I will most probably try to hook up with her best friend or her sister or anything I could get my hands on.
you're a terrible human being. But that's not the worst thing you could do. The worst thing
I
you could
know.
do in that scenario is sleep with her and then ghost her.
Um. Okay. I've never thought of that. I just go for look. I would. I mean, I've been in the situation where I've been changed in front of her. So let me just say this story. So
You've been changed,
I kind of changed clothes in front of her. So this was with someone who was a supervisor where I used to work. For
right?
obvious reasons, I can't say the name of where I used to work and that. But she was a supervisor, and I thought I had a chance with her. So you know, I went into my thing, and she told me, "Look, you're just a good friend. You look like a friend. Let's just keep it friends." And I thought I could still play my thing, so I took her home. You know, we had a night out drinking out. I walked her home. I was like, "Are you sure? Come on." You know, she still friend zoned me. So it's like, you know what? This requires pompagira. I need to put charm into this girl, yeah? So I went into the gym. I started shooting in the gym 3 times a day, 6 times a week, month after month. It took me 4 months to now come out of my cocoon. Yeah, all ripped, six packs, back on flick. I was doing my meals properly. And then she jumped back on me and she was like, "Oh, Campbell, I didn't know you look so hot. Would you like to come and explore my feminine side?" So I was like, "Okay, I got you." So she had
So all of that gym and everything was to get her,
all of that gym was for my own pride. I was hurt.
right? So you used it as motivation, but you didn't
That's it.
necessarily plan that she would.
Mm, I can multitask and multi-think or whatever you can call it very, very well. So it was God and the devil working together.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I was motivating myself, but at the same time, I was trying to get my revenge body.
Right.
And Charlie, that's how I just cracked on, and I went for her best friend on New Year's Eve, and she was there, and I couldn't give a hoot. So she hated me for
In
about
her face. In her face.
yeah. New Year's Eve. Yeah.
Well, Campbell,
That's how I kind of yeah.
you're a
So
terrible human being, sir.
but now I've changed. I've set on the path.
Yeah. All right.
I'm on the path now, and I'm trying to encourage responsible sexual practices. Yeah. So that's why we're here now. I've embraced a different archetype. I'm calling on a different god,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense. Yeah. So to round up, it's we obviously know that getting in bed with women, we are at a disadvantage as guys because it takes us only two or
Yeah.
three strokes to be over.
Listen, I don't ever. I've never felt at a disadvantage.
Yeah, but
What do you mean?
you are slightly above the average. We're talking about the average.
Yeah, but okay. So an average guy
Yeah,
in general
yeah,
gets an average woman.
yeah. It's
A
it, ma-
below average guy gets a below average woman, and a above average guy gets an above average. It's relative. It's still like
I
it's
don't
not
think
like
I don't think it
it's not
really
like
works like
a
that, you
guy.
know.
Okay, okay, okay.
Because
All right, all right.
a guy can be okay. A guy can be below average looking, but he knows his stuff. He knows he knows about Kundalini. He knows about NoFap. He knows about retention. He knows about transmuting sexual energy. He knows all of this stuff. He's been reading his books. He knows about kunyaza. He knows about oral. He knows about the topical creams. But he's just not good looking. But he exudes all that aura. Have you heard of the term big dick energy?
Yeah, yes,
Yeah, so
yes.
he's got that energy, but you know,
But
without
that
it,
doesn't mean he's gonna perform. Oh well, okay, right. Okay, he's amassed technique. He's amassed technique.
that's it. He knows his stuff, but he's just he's a I don't know a DeVito kind of looking guy, but he knows his stuff. But then on
Right.
the other hand, you would have a Michael B. Jordan, who you would think he's a 100, but then he's shit. He's got premature ejaculation. He's suffering from all kinds of erectile dysfunction. We don't know this. It's not a
Right.
given. But what we're saying here is the average, which is a minute to 3 minutes for the man, for the woman, we can go up to even 15 minutes. How do you bridge that seven and a half, 11 minute gap? What do you do then? And yeah, play with your tongue,
Right.
sorry. Or if you're not a fan of the tongue, go with kunyaza. If you're a spiritual type, or I guess the word now is asexual, they don't like to have
Right.
contact. I've never met anyone like that, by the way. Have you?
I think there's men that are too fearful to attempt, and that
Hmm.
is on the increase. They would like to have contact. Oh yeah, you would call them incels, right?
I don't
Involuntary
even know
celibate.
what to call them.
So
Incels.
well, it's not. It's different from incel. I'm talking about a guy that basically a girl walks down the street
Yeah.
and he like dips his head and walks past fast. In his mind, he walked up. In his mind, he walked up to her and asked for a number, but he
Oh,
just couldn't build up the
so like teenage level of
bro. This is
okay.
happening. This is men doing this as well, though. I mean, fully men.
Mm,
I think that's on the rise alongside incels, men that
okay.
wish they even if they make the attempt, they're knocked back, and they don't know how to they don't get a chance to have sex.
Hmm. Wow. I guess I've been there, but I was a virgin back then. I didn't know what it smelled like, what it looked like, nothing. But yeah,
Right.
those
Okay.
back in.
Okay. So I pushed you off your point again. Um, we were discussing. Um,
The three techniques to bridge the gap.
right. Right. Right.
Yeah. So so yeah, we want to remind the average that the more you can add, so if you can use your hands. Simultaneous movement on the woman on her skin is an add-on. Everything contributes. Yeah. And yeah, I don't know what else to say because these are the only things that have helped me. I'm not trying to encourage anyone to use creams. People are allergic to stuff. You never know. So tongue, penis, and breath. That's all I can give right now. If you have any other tips, more than welcome.
Yeah, I've got tips.
Okay, okay. What would that be?
Um, to make the experience, to turn her on more.
Hmm.
Uh, First of all, whatever you do, do it with enthusiasm.
Hmm.
That goes for both parties.
Yeah.
That energy of enthusiasm is transferred. You know, it's shared and it's appreciated.
Hmm.
Um, Eye contact,
Okay.
talking, like sex talk.
Okay.
Um, you know, whoever is dominating is reinforcing the domination with their speech. Whoever is
Okay.
being submissive is reinforcing the submissiveness with their speech.
Okay.
So let me not put gender roles on it. Let me just put
Yeah.
it in that frame. Um, and then uh, whoever is dominating is physically uh, restricting, pinning, holding, and continue going down that road. I'm sure everyone can paint a picture.
Mm-hmm.
But those that like to be dominated like to be restricted, pinned, you know, the physically dominated,
Mm-hmm.
and the same is true vice versa. The guy, I mean, the person dominating, excuse me,
Yeah.
um, you know, it will be exerting the domination and and vice versa. I mean, sex is not always like that, but it's often to some level like that.
Mm.
Um, so yes, those are the things that I would throw in the mix. I think a good study of there was once a girl that I met that had never squirted,
Okay.
and she sent me a video of, I don't know where she got the link from, some guy that showed all sorts of like massaging techniques. It was like
Yes.
how to make your girl squirt, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And that video had a lot of sort of massage um,
Mm. Ooh, okay.
ideas and techniques. It's also where I learnt that the clit
Yeah.
goes right uh, around the whole opening of
Mm-hmm.
the vagina,
Okay.
and sort of showed some different ways to stimulate a woman.
Okay.
And then just on a very practical level, a very basic practical level, if you can find the clitoris,
Yeah.
if we use the clitoris and imagine um, a sundial, not a sundial, a clock face,
Okay.
I would say 1 o'clock is the most sensitive part.
Okay.
Um, Gentle stimulation in this area. It's not like
You don't have to rub it off.
right. We're not using an eraser on thick paper on pencil that doesn't want to rub off. So stimulation in this
Hey.
area here,
Yeah, yeah.
and then allowing each other to find what feels right during penetrative sex.
Mm.
So I think a lot of the time it's like it goes in and there's a lot of movement going on, but it may be synchronized and it may all work well and all flow together well,
Yeah.
or one person may be dominating how that movement takes place while the
Mm.
other rest. But I found that sometimes, particularly if the man is on the bottom and
Yeah.
you uh, let the woman express herself on
Okay.
top, um, she it may not happen immediately, but
Mm-hmm.
she will find uh, things that are pleasurable for you and pleasurable for her on her own that
Mm.
maybe your direction wasn't necessarily finding, but she found it once she got a chance to sort of be free of your, um, you know, physical encouragements,
Yeah.
like move like this, push like this, whatever.
Yeah.
You're doing all of the movement. Sometimes if you just let them express themselves,
Yeah.
ultimately they're we're trying to find the sort of perfect friction
Yeah.
between us,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
and you don't always have to be in control of that. Sometimes they're in a better position to find it than you.
Mm.
So
Mm.
those would be my let's say practical tips.
Yeah. Yeah. That
uh,
massage technique is really interesting because I think some women have a predisposition to squirting. It's not all of them.
right.
So, and even the quantity they're able to push out is depends massively on, because it feels like they're urinating. So some of them block it, they kind of hold it back, when in reality, it's a squirt. Sometimes it
Yeah.
feels like it's just too wet, but
Yeah.
yeah, then you notice it's like pee because it itches. I don't know, on your on your thighs. I don't know, man. I'm just weird. And yeah, but that stuff on the movies, I've never seen that in my life. That
um
kind of forceful. Yeah, I've never seen that.
I mean, when I've been with women that really squirt,
Yeah,
I have to say it it does smell like pee.
it,
Sound,
it is
it
pee.
like,
Yeah, I mean,
you know it's
yeah. Just go
it's
on. I
not the
was gonna
most
say.
it's not the most exciting thing for me to be all my bed.
It's just hey, stays you. Hmm. But apparently, there's a study that kind of uses the squirt to convalidate women having a prostate. So
To
the
what?
uh, having a prostate gland,
But you said to convalidate.
yeah,
What
it
do you mean?
just proves convalidates, yeah, because there's a few scientists out there that say women don't have a prostate.
Right.
Yeah, so they just want to prove that no, the juice, the liquid that comes out of the vagina during sex is not urine, it's actually prostate juice. So it's mixed with bodily fluids and urine. It's not exclusively urine because it comes from the
Right.
spongy part just underneath the clitoris. It just gathers all that liquid and then all of a sudden lets it out in a
Yeah,
violet.
yeah, but could we not just very easily tell if a woman has a prostate or not?
I'm not a biologist. I don't know the human anatomy in concrete, but I suppose that the job of the prostate is to squeeze out whatever juice comes either from the scrotum or from the bladder, because it sits right there at the crossroads, right? So a woman has no need for that kind of organ to push, because it is the orifice for the urine is just out there. It doesn't have a tube it needs to go through. I don't know if that makes sense.
Right. Right.
Yeah, so I don't know the mechanics, but I'm just thinking on my 2 feet that that would be the case. Whereas a man would need uh, some kind of pump and equipment to push whatever is gathered in the bladder through the fallopian tubes. That's not the name, I just made it up. And out of the top, the penis. Yeah.
You and
Because
me right now are just bumbling in the dark.
that
We
is
have
actually
no
a dark
idea.
space. I have no clue what's going on there.
We have no idea.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have to get a woman on here or someone that knows one day to break some of this stuff down to us.
We need to start getting guests. And I have found a few devotees of Bombajira.
Oh yeah.
And yeah. And I'm in the
What they they
process.
they 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 worship specifically.
Oh, they have a little shrine to her. Yeah. They give her offerings. They give her sweets because that's
Oh,
what.
we got to discuss this.
Yeah, man.
I'd
Yeah,
love
man.
to get into the mind of one of these Pombagiros.
Yeah. So I'm working on that, and
Uh, Okay, I have a very ignorant question. A very ignorant question.
go ahead.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's my disclaimer.
yeah, man.
On the crazy scale, zero being not,
Mm,
10 being crazy,
yeah,
these Pompagiros that you're talking about,
yeah.
where do they lie?
And what would you define crazy? Is it
Um,
voyeurism? Is it
no,
anal?
crazy like if our relationship went south,
Mm?
I wouldn't have to worry. I would have to worry about my car tires being slit and my windows being smashed or being spray
Oh,
painted.
okay. As in toxic.
Yeah,
Very toxic. 10.
you see, I'm still struggling from the last podcast to find where there's anyone that is into this Pompagiro Jezebel stuff. That is, you know,
Oh.
using it for positive means, using it
But
for righteous,
T-
using it for righteous
TJ,
means.
people are
Yes.
pulling up people are putting up all empires with that thing. You just said it the last time. You saw this woman who had this Canadian man at a leash in front of this
Yeah.
guy. She told you, look, you're coming to sleep with me. And that guy was just looking like a moo. You think you and I can listen to that? My girl saying something like that in front of me. Is she mad? Eh? Don't you think that girl is so crazy? That guy is better off just keeping quiet and having you do the job.
You know, that the woman scared me because I did not know what she was capable of.
That
It's like she could plot my own, it's like she could plot my murder.
she's gonna take away your mojo, bro.
No, you just stay away from women like that.
Yeah, that's
If
that's
I
it.
see in my at my age now, if I see a hint of toxic anything,
You stay away.
I'm not gonna be able to do it.
Nah, man.
I'm not
Nah.
I'm not available.
I feel you. I feel you. There's no energy for that. I feel you.
It's nah, man.
I feel you.
Anything
I
that
feel
you
you.
meet on the surface, anything you meet on the surface would just grow. If you've
Mm,
entered into a relationship, it's not gonna go
yeah.
well. It's gonna, you know,
Oh, and I wanted to say because the last time you talked about there's nothing good about these women displaying this type of energy was positive and that, and I just wanted to add perhaps that um, there's nothing really good or bad about these women tapping into this energy. I would rather say it's an indicator of how left our society has gone, where we're very, very superficial. So we just stop at appearances, whereas
right,
we should try to be more in depth and try to know these people. So obviously, what is that kind of man in the case of the lady you met in DR? Why you not? sticking in your lane. You want to look powerful. You want to look some type of way. So you're going for the most superficially powerful woman that, you're just trying to extend your power. I can get an Amazon, dark skin, ebony, long hair, big boobs, big butt looking woman, but that's what is waiting for you. Pompa gira, ruin your life, have you at a leash, spank you in bed. Same thing is happening to these basketball players. You know,
Oh my god.
yeah. Why are they so superficial? So,
Someone needs someone needs to open a seminar, like a seminar, only recently they've started um giving like finance, like when you join the NBA,
yeah.
they give you like
Mm.
financial, they give you like media training, financial training, they whatever, like,
Oh,
so you don't
really?
basically ruin your life with success, with all the success and spotlight. You don't ruin your life. Someone needs to
Yeah.
do that for like women. Like there's an NFL woman whose son there's a lady whose son got drafted into the NFL,
Okay.
and for some reason she got into his Instagram, or she was using his Instagram for some reason
Yeah.
after he got
Drafted.
drafted. So
Yeah.
basically he'd just become a millionaire,
Yeah.
like, right? So um and she she went online and was like, there's like overnight there's hundreds of like big butt women
Mm-hmm.
of all ages, like my son is 18,
Mm-hmm.
just in his DMs
Yeah.
propositioning him for everything under the sun. And I just
Yeah.
want to let all of you know
Mm-hmm.
that I am managing his social media accounts from now on. Like
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
a young boy is defenseless,
Yeah.
defenseless
That's
against,
it.
like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, all right. Well, I would love to talk with a Pompagiro that is like actually worshiping, active
Mm-hmm.
worshiping, like is in, like, because there's many of them that do not know that they are embodying the spirit of
Exactly.
Pompagiro, but
Yeah.
one that knows,
Hmm.
and I would love that discussion. I would love that discussion.
We're gonna talk with them. We're gonna talk to them. I'm in the process of finalizing a few details, but yeah, man, we're gonna have to talk to them. Yeah, yeah. So for the listeners, stay tuned. That's gonna be, yeah, the bee's knees.
Okay, fantastic. All right, so I guess let's put a pin in it there.
Yeah.
Um, if you enjoyed watching this video, then please feel free to check out the other videos that are now appearing on the screen.
Yeah.
You know, if we're happy for you to support us, and we hope to see you soon, and you hope to that you will come back, check us out for more.
This has been a pleasure for me from Campbell.
From TJ,
See you next time. Bye.
bye bye.